Right now at 5, new information in a 2-year-old murder case.
The renewed search for Aaron Pennington, the man accused of killing his wife in Gardner, and why police are relaunching their efforts now.
And a Princeton man in court today after police seized multiple explosive devices in his car. The charges he's now facing.
And the new fee you may have to pay the next time you fly. We'll tell you an easy way to avoid it.
Now, live on WBZ TV and streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News.
Tonight, police in Gardner have ended their search for Aaron Pennington, the man who allegedly killed his wife Brianne inside their home in 2023. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Courtney Cole.
And I'm Lisa Hughes. Tonight, the victim's aunt tells us police found new evidence that linked to her murder. WBZ's Aaron Parsegian is live in Gardner with what we learned today. Aaron?
Worcester County DA's office says they are committed to investigating any lead they get in this case. They're actively investigating them as we speak. Where we're standing right now is just down the road where this heavily wooded area where state police staged this massive search today. It's the same area where they last found any sign of Aaron Pennington, his car, more than 2 years ago. Sky Eye video showing a massive state police search in the air, on the water, and through the woods of Gardner's Camp Collier Thursday, as detectives looked for any signs of one of Massachusetts' most wanted fugitives. Aaron Pennington is accused of shooting and killing his wife Brianne just over 2 years ago in their home about 3 miles from these woods, where police found his abandoned white BMW. Pennington has not been seen since.
It's a pretty sizable search. It's a pretty big operation. And, I think that it's great because we need to rule out whether he is deceased in the woods or not.
The unknown has haunted the city of Gardner and Brianne's loved ones, like her aunt Brenda Hull, who we spoke with on the phone.
I know that there are lots of other families out there wanting justice and wanting answers. But I think that the fact that this is a possibility that he's still out there armed and dangerous is concerning.
Hull is encouraged by the sight of a massive search like this one she says was prompted by new evidence.
They've been pretty serious about staying on top of it and working the case. It's a hard case. It's a difficult case. But yes, they have reasons to be searching the woods again.
For her family, closure and justice for Brianne and her surviving 4 children remain paramount.
The best outcome is that he's there in the woods somewhere deceased, and we find his remains. That would enable us to, obtain the death benefits for the children, and give the children the answers that they are looking for, because they are asking. The children do ask.
The Worcester County DA says their investigation is active and ongoing. Anyone with information is asked to call them or Massachusetts State Police. Again, they say any lead will be thoroughly investigated. Live in Gardner tonight, Aaron Parsegian, WBZ News.
Aaron, thank you. 9 people have been displaced after this big fire at a triple-decker home on Washington Street. Sky Eye was over the scene around 2:30 this afternoon. You can see the flames and the smoke shooting out of this building. Officials say a firefighter was hurt battling this fire, but at this point, we are not sure how seriously. Courtney?
Lisa, a Princeton man was arraigned in court this morning after police say they found 9 explosive devices in his car. Police say that it began with reports of explosions on Wheeler Road. Now, they identified 27-year-old Jason Baldarelli as a suspect and pulled him over in his car where they found the explosives. After searching his home, police found even more.
While his arraignment was taking place, we served that search warrant at his address at 11 Wheeler Road, and 23 more explosive devices were recovered. I would describe them as like half sticks of dynamite. They look like, like large firecrackers.
Baldarelli is being held on $7,500 cash bail. The explosive devices were safely detonated by police.
All 16 jurors are now seated in the Brian Walsh murder trial, a process that took just 3 days. WBZ's Louisa Moeller is live outside Norfolk Superior Court in Dedham with what we saw in the courtroom today. Louisa?
Well, Lisa, that's right. We have a jury for Brian Walsh's trial. It took us 3 days to get here. A speedy 9 jurors chosen on the first day, 3 on the second day, and then 4 today, 1 man and 3 women.
Days later, Police searched a dumpster outside the defendant's mother's Swampscott apartment and found clothing that belonged to Anna Walsh, Anna Walsh's COVID card, vaccination card, towels with a red-brown stains, a hatchet, and a hacksaw.
A judge explaining the Commonwealth's murder case against Brian Walsh to a courtroom packed with prospective jurors. Walsh stood and faced them as the judge laid out the weight of their potential duties.
May not decide this case based on sympathy, prejudice, anger, or any other emotion.
Dozens were interviewed, but on day 3 of jury selection, only 4 more were picked, just enough to make the 16 total jurors that the judge says is necessary for trial.
But it's right on track for moving along efficiently.
WBZ legal analyst Jennifer Roman says the speed of jury selection is appropriate for such a high-profile case. Walsh is accused of murdering his wife Anna, the mother of their 3 children, in 2023. Earlier this week, he pled guilty to 2 lesser charges, misleading a police investigation and improper disposal of a body, leaving the door open to a deal, which would allow him to plead guilty to second-degree murder and be eligible for parole. Roman says that possibility now seems farther off.
The only way that they would find out about this potentially is if Brian Walsh was to testify.
The trial is scheduled to begin after the Thanksgiving holiday on Monday, December 1st. In Dedham, Louisa Moeller, WBZ News.
Louisa, thank you. A Framingham man arrested in connection with a hit and run that killed a man on a 3-wheeled bicycle appeared in court. Prosecutors say 69-year-old Paulo Castro hit the man on a bike and then drove off. This was yesterday morning. The cyclist Ryan Damon died at the hospital. Surveillance video allegedly shows the truck taking a left and then bouncing up and down. Prosecutors say Castro claimed he thought he hit a curb. He's being held on $3,000 bail.
We are getting closer to winter, and you can feel it here in New England. The days are getting shorter and colder as we head toward Thanksgiving. WBZ Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher is with us now with our next weather forecast. Eric.
Hey, Lisa. Yeah, it was the coldest morning yet as we started the day today. Tonight, still cold in spots, but you can see the effect of cloud cover. It's 27 in Norwood where the skies are clear, but 40 in Boston and Plymouth and 43 in Hyannis. A little sliver of that cloud cover is an insulating blanket. So where it's clear, much colder outside. That little light gray shading, that's where we have the clouds camped out tonight. May keep that part of the state a little bit warmer. As for any rain chances, we're watching this system out in the middle of the country. It's going to try to scrape by early Saturday morning, especially if you're on Cape Cod and the islands. But tonight, it's just partly cloudy and chilly, back into the 20s away from the immediate coastline where we have the clearer skies. So another cold start there. And keeping an eye on the coast to see if those clouds break up. If they don't at all, we'll stay in the 30s for overnight lows by the water. Then tomorrow, a little milder, partly sunny. We'll get up around 50 degrees, a little more breeze picking up out of the southwest. And when it comes to our really one rain chance, early Saturday morning, especially if you're on Cape Cod and the islands, you have the best shots. We'll talk about the whole weekend forecast to make some plans, get ready for Thanksgiving coming up. Courtney?
All right, Eric, thank you. A grand jury has indicted a Rehoboth man on a murder charge. 22-year-old Gregory Groom has been in custody since August. This is in connection with the death of his girlfriend, Kylie Montero. Now, investigators say he stabbed the 18-year-old and buried her body in a shallow grave. 2 weeks after Montero was reported missing, police say Groom actually told them where they could find her body. Montero was 11 weeks pregnant at the time of her death.
Hundreds of mourners gathered today as former Vice President Dick Cheney was laid to rest. Cheney died earlier this month at the age of 84 after a long battle with heart disease. His daughter, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, celebrated his life, saying he always put the country first. Former presidents Joe Biden and George W. Bush also attended the funeral, along with 4 former vice presidents. President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance were not invited.
The NTSB released new pictures of the deadly UPS plane crash in Kentucky. Now, in these new images from the preliminary report, the engine is seen flying off of the plane's wing and then going up in the air before the plane bursts into flames. The NTSB report says the plane only got 30 feet above the ground before it crashed. Now, the report also says during an inspection immediately after, the plane showed signs of metal fatigue. The fiery crash killed 14 people and injured 24 more.
Well, there is a promising outlook in the jobs report.
Now, the number of jobs added in September, it blew past expectations. And as CBS News correspondent Evan Moon reports, this is a sign the job market remains firm.
The first jobs report since the government shutdown shows employers added 119,000 jobs in September, more than double expectations and the strongest growth since April. Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says while it points to a slightly better hiring trend, there's more to the numbers.
119,000 jobs would have been considered somewhat lackluster when the economy was going great guns, when we were getting 200,000, 250,000 jobs added a month, when we considered the job market to be red hot.
Notably, September's unemployment rate rose to 4.4%, the highest since 2021.
It's a very mixed story. It takes fewer jobs added to keep the unemployment rate steady or from going up even substantially more.
And even old data can sway the Federal Reserve. CBS News analyst Jill Schlesinger says this report will factor into its upcoming decision on rate cuts.
Well, the Fed's going to watch this pretty closely, and I think that there are two problems that the Fed has right now. They are seeing a labor market slowdown at the same time that they are seeing prices accelerate. The December meeting is completely in play. They could cut by 1/4 percentage point, and then again, they might hold steady and wait for more data to come rolling in.
The Fed won't have fresh data from the Labor Department before its next meeting. Because of the shutdown, there won't be a full October jobs report. Some data will be lumped in with the November report due out in late December.
September showed job growth in leisure and hospitality, healthcare, and construction, while other sectors saw declines.
Technology, business services, media, all these industries are getting smaller.
Economists are watching federal workers, too. Many who took early retirements are now falling out of the labor force, which could impact future jobs numbers. Evan Moon, CBS News, New York.
President Trump has proposed a 28-point plan that would end the Russian-Ukraine war. CBS News reports the plan calls for Ukraine to give up some weapons, shrink its army, and hand over some territories to Russia, a condition that has been absolutely a non-starter in the past. In its most recent attack, Russia launched missiles that killed more than 24 people. The U.S. approved a $100 million package to upgrade Ukraine's missile interceptor systems and sent the U.S. Army Secretary to Kyiv to work on peace talks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he expects to discuss this plan with President Trump.
WBZ is your official home for the New England Patriots, who play the Bengals this weekend. And there are still some big questions tonight about which quarterback the Pats defense will be facing. WBZ Sports Director Steve Burton joins us now live in studio. And Steve, there's a chance Joe Burrow could play this weekend.
A chance? Yes, there is a chance. Joe Burrow took reps with the Bengals starters for the second day in a row, folks. The Bengals quarterback has been working his way back from toe surgery. He hasn't played since week 2, but it looks like he's getting closer. So the big question right now is, will Joe Burrow play this week against the Pats, or wait until Cincy's next game, which is on Thanksgiving night? Today, Pats inside linebackers coach Zach Kurz said they're prepared to face both Joe Burrow and Joe Flacco.
You know, Flacco is a great quarterback. That's why he's been doing it for so long. And then Burrow, you know, he's a great quarterback. Somewhat, you know, similar styles, how they operate. Obviously, they have some different physical, you know, features to them. As far as, like, you know, game planning on that, I don't think much changes. You know, they operate the same system. You know, Zach does a good job of keeping the continuity within the scheme. So I don't think much would change from that.
But, you know, if Joe Burrow doesn't play, the Bengals have been scoring a lot of points with Joe Flacco, but Flacco is 40 years old. Courtney, back to you.
All right, we'll have to wait and see, and certainly tune in. Steve, thank you. Make sure you join us tomorrow night for Patriots All Access. That's when we take you behind the scenes of Rob Gronkowski's Gronk, his return to Foxborough last weekend. That's Friday night at 7 on WBZ. And of course, we've got you covered from start to finish on Sunday, beginning with Patriots game day at 11:30. The game kicks off at 1, and then afterwards, we still want you to stick around. Patriots fifth quarter, all on WBZ.
Well, coming up on WBZ News, a special anniversary for the Rockettes.
We'll tell you about this season's kickoff and the reunions at the event.
Plus, an effort to ban cell phones in classrooms for good. What one country is doing to curb the growing problem of distractions and how students and teachers are responding.
And paying more for your plane than the proposed fee you could be paying the next time you go through TSA.
The Radio City Rockettes are celebrating a big milestone in their Christmas spectacular. Their 100th anniversary season kicked off in New York City last night. The troupe was founded as the Missouri Rockets in 1925 before they moved to Radio City in 1932. Former Rockettes say last night's kickoff made them nostalgic.
I'm pinching myself. We're just seeing old friends. We retired decades ago, and it's like no time has passed.
There's nothing like it. There really isn't. I never knew I wanted to be a Rockette, and I can't imagine my life without it.
About 500 former Rockettes were recognized at last night's show. And while we're talking about the holidays, a town library in Wisconsin is helping kids get their letters to Santa this holiday season. The program allows children to write to jolly old St. Nick, telling him what they want for Christmas. Organizers say the program helps kids who are less fortunate before the holidays.
And both of those stories making it feel like it's the holidays out, and the temperatures are certainly making it feel like that too.
Yeah, Eric, you know, we had a pretty mild fall, and now it definitely feels like November.
Making that approach, no doubt about it, into some more wintry air. Just a tad milder through the weekend, but this month has really traded in a very tight range. There have not been a lot of big spikes to warm days and big drops to cold days. Just been very steady. Very little precipitation, maybe some rain late Tuesday night into Wednesday. Current outlook for Thanksgiving is a dry one. Hopefully that sticks. Now tonight, another cold evening. A lot of 20s out there at this hour, where it's milder there across portions of the South Shore to Cape Cod. There's a little band of clouds. Those low clouds are an insulating blanket and may hold for the remainder of the night. So much milder there compared to inland spots as we await that next storm system, which will bring us a chance of rain early on Saturday morning, or at least part of the area. But tonight is partly cloudy. Maybe we just get down to 32 in Boston again. Didn't go below this morning, but made it to 32 for the first time this season. A lot of spots will be in the 20s as you walk out the front door. So a chilly morning, not windy in the morning, little breeze in the afternoon, but it won't be as aggressive as some of the real windy days that we've had so far this week. So partly sunny, 50 degrees on the average in Boston, and a little bit cooler up toward Essex County. Meanwhile, we head south of the city, some upper 40s to around 50 there. If you're more towards central Massachusetts, we'll knock off a few degrees in the low to middle 40s. And then for the Cape and the islands, right around 50 for our Finally Friday. Then we make our way into late tomorrow night, not in the evening. If you're heading out, no issues there. But early on Saturday morning, a system's going to be moving on by and should just scrape us with a chance of rain. This would be up across the south coast to Cape Cod and the islands. Nantucket having the best shot overall. And then we'll clear out behind it for some sunshine for the remainder of our Saturday. High temperatures there are in the upper 40s. Sunday just a touch cooler, a little more cloud cover out there, but pretty quiet. I mean, weekend plans, you're going to the grocery store, getting your ingredients for Thanksgiving feast, or maybe you're hitting the road early. I don't think the weather is going to be a problem for you. Holy Cross playing at Fenway Park on Saturday afternoon, 44 at kickoff. Not a bad day at all. And pretty good weather for yard work, too. The wind is at times a little breezy, but again, not excessive. Maybe you're heading to the ski mountains. Lots more opening up over the course of the next couple of days. So here we go, getting into the long season, which truly lasts into April for most of us. And we're looking at 30s this weekend for most of the mountains. I did see Wachusett is going to open up some of their trails on Saturday as well. Holiday travel wise, no big disruptive storms in the country. There'll be some rain in the middle of the nation on Monday that will advance to the east on Tuesday. But again, this isn't a huge wind maker or a huge snow maker for most, so I don't think it's going to have one of those large trickle down effects to many of our airport hubs. There's a look at our next 7 days. We start off with a dry and seasonable Monday and Tuesday. A chance of rain Tuesday night into Wednesday will also bring the temperatures up a little bit. Looks like we'll fall back on Thursday for Thanksgiving, but as long as that rain scoots out of here, we'll take 50 and partly cloudy any year.
Yes, we will. Eric, thank you. The New England Revolution has announced its schedule for the 2026 season. 17 games will be played at home at Gillette. Their season opener is scheduled for February 21st in Nashville and their home opener on March 7th. Season memberships for home games start at just $30. Now, students and cell phones, it's a problem we've heard about and here in the U.S. time and time again.
Yeah, but as CBS News correspondent Tina Kraus shows us, one country is banning cell phones in schools nationwide.
To try and translate from Danish into English.
Each day, these students in Denmark have one assignment they cannot ignore, handing in their smartphones.
We saw a lot of students losing focus. We saw them lose concentration. They were mentally not really present in school.
Teachers say the distraction was so widespread, students' grades were dropping, prompting the Danish government to push for a nationwide ban on smartphones in all public schools, not just in class, but during breaks too.
And at first, people were kind of like, oh, so annoying, you have to give your phone.
Lawmakers say the old school move slows the pace so students and teachers can keep up.
It's just a way to go a little bit backwards because we have been implementing too fast.
And advocates call the ban a win for students and educators.
Make it easier for the teacher to do what they're supposed to do, to teach, and also give children the freedom to connect offline.
Teens who used to spend recess glued to their phones say now they're really connecting.
Now we talk and sometimes also play board games and stuff.
Yeah.
And in the classroom, learning is getting back on track.
I'm more focused because now we don't have something that keeps annoying us every now and then because somebody texts us.
After a phone-free day and students pick up their devices, teachers say they hope the lesson in real connection will stick. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
My son wouldn't want me to say it, but I would be all for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think most parents are right there with you.
Yes. Coming up on WBZ News here, how much extra you might have to pay to fly.
Uh-oh, we'll tell you about the fee the TSA is proposing and how you can avoid it.
Depending on the ID you carry, you could pay more the next time you go through airport security.
The TSA has proposed a new fee for some travelers. WBZ's Mike Sullivan is at Logan Airport with how you can avoid paying it.
The hustle and bustle through the airport is hectic. Getting through TSA, the ultimate challenge. Only now to get through, you better have the right ID, a real ID. Without one, you're going to be delayed.
I'd be so frustrated. I mean, it would ruin your plans. That's really frustrating.
Avery Biber is in Boston for a bachelorette party. She converted her license to a real ID when she turned 21.
They were already doing the STAR, the real ID, and so I got it because I knew it was going to be a problem.
Passengers have had to use a real ID since May. So what happens if you're heading to Logan but you don't have a real ID? A traveler can get by with a passport or a global entry card.
If you don't have any of those, there's still a way for you to be able to go through security checkpoints, but it requires basically a two-factor authentication, and that takes time.
It's why TSA is proposing a rule that would charge passengers an $18 fee at security checkpoints if they don't have a real ID. The money would fund a biometric identity verification program to speed up the process.
They're saying if you're slowing down the line, there's going to be a price to pay for that.
Peter Greenberg is a travel expert with CBS.
It's something like 93% have complied already with real ID.
Count Diane Pittman among them.
I had a flight coming up. That's why I had to get it.
The Pittsburgh native went to the DMV an hour away to avoid lines.
I had a friend who got to the DMV at 9 and didn't get out till 5.
She says she may have paid the $18 to skip the hassle, but eventually would have got her real ID.
It doesn't pay in the end because you're going to fly again and you're going to fly again.
Right.
So it's better to just rip off the Band-Aid and get the real ID.
Those words of wisdom are free of charge. In Boston, I'm Mike Sullivan, WBZ News.
Coming up at 5:30, could public grocery stores be coming to Massachusetts? We'll tell you about the plan 2 city councilors are proposing.
And sitting down with a top high school band, our Jason Michael grabs an instrument and shows us why they're so successful.
And then coming up new at 6, actor Kevin Spacey opening up the legal battles that include some here in Massachusetts that have taken him from Hollywood, he says, to homeless.